Hey everybody, it's Rachel and welcome to my channel. My channel is going to be pretty random. It's going to be like true crime, makeup and fashion, product reviews, traveling, just really all kinds of things. I always like suggestions and ideas, so if you do have one, you can always leave that in the comments and I will check them. As far as today's video goes, I am going to be doing like a Q&A. You guys submitted a lot of questions to me. I'm basically going to answer all of those. I do have a drawing that I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to do it on the video because a lot of people did want to be anonymous, so I don't want to bust anybody out or put their name out there if they didn't want it. So I will just contact the winner of that privately and let them know that they should be getting a gift. Also, kind of bear with me, guys. I'm sick, so I sound off. I don't really feel good, but I really wanted to get this video out since I've been telling you guys that I would. So we're just going to kind of roll with it. I also don't have my editing equipment yet, so I'm having to do this straight through without being able to edit anything. So if I misspeak or stumble over my words, just kind of look over it because I have really no way to edit it in. Unless I just screw it up completely. I'm not trying to stop this. I've already done this like 15 times by now. Also, I have a terrible memory, so I do have a paper over here that has all the questions on them. So if you see me looking over here during the video, it's because I'm reading the questions. There's no way that I could remember all of these, but I guess we're just gonna roll with it and just kind of get into it. So my first question is, have I ever kept a New Year's resolution? This was from somebody that wanted to stay anonymous, so I'm not going to say their name. But to answer that question, I honestly don't think that I ever have. I think I always have these great ideas and things that I would like to do, but I do them for a couple of months and then I'm kind of over it and move on to something else. Don't really stick to New Year's resolutions very often. The second question is, if I could be any animal, what would I be? Hands down, without a doubt, any of y'all that know me know that a dolphin is my favorite animal, and that is what I would choose because they're incredibly smart and they get to be in the ocean all the time, and I feel like that would just be a good fit for me. My third question is from Becca. Becca, thank you for asking. And she asked, what is my favorite thing to make as far as, I guess, dinner goes. That's how I took it. So if that's not what you meant, Becca, that's how I took it. Honestly, I don't really like the whole process of making this because it takes a really long time and it's just not what I want to do after work or anything like that, but I like bacon wrapped shrimp. It's one of my favorite things to eat, but probably not really my favorite thing to make, if that makes any sense. And I actually learned that recipe from my sister Jessica, who is amazing at everything she cooks. So if you ever need a recipe idea, just hit her up because she knows everything. And my fourth question is from Skylar, and she asked me if I believe in aliens. And to answer that, yes, I 100% believe there are aliens. I think there's just too much space out there that we haven't been able to explore to believe otherwise. I've kind of encountered some things that are really weird. I know there are plenty of people out there that have, so I just find it hard to say that we're the only ones. I don't believe that. My fifth question is from Anonymous, and it is, do you believe in ghosts? Also, yes. I'm not as solid in my belief of ghosts as I am with aliens. I do believe that it's a possibility. I don't know that I've ever really encountered much as far as that goes. Maybe a couple of little things here and there, but enough to make me believe and say, yeah, like I totally think that it is a thing. My next question is from Carrie, and she asked me what was my favorite music. I am very music bipolar, as I like to call it. I like pretty much a random mix of everything. If you're ever riding with me and have listened to one of my playlists, you probably think I have music ADD, because we could go from Britney Spears to Project Pat to Backstreet Boys to Shine Down to anything. But some of my favorites are Matchbox 20, Pink. I like Breaking Benjamin. I like a lot of people, Maroon 5. The list just goes on and on. I would never be able to name everybody here. My next question is from Josh, and he asked, who would I want to play me in a movie if I could pick any actress? And my answer would be Emmy Rossum. She plays Fiona on Shameless. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Shameless, but it's hilarious. So if you haven't watched it, you need to. It's really funny. But I like her because she's really down to earth. I feel like she's relatable. She's just somebody that I could see playing me as a character. I really enjoy watching her on Shameless. So I feel like that would be the perfect person for me. The next question is, if I could have a superpower, what would it be? And I think that I would like to be able to teleport. I don't like driving. I don't like the whole process of getting from one place to another when traveling, but there's so many places that I want to go. So that would be ideal for me. If I could just hop on a little portal and then go from point A to point B, that would be awesome. You could pretty much live anywhere in the world and still keep your job, because you could just teleport back and forth. You wouldn't have to fly or drive or whatever it is. You could just go, and who doesn't want to do that? My next question is from Mally, and she asked, what or who are some of my favorite YouTube channels or people that I watch? I watch on YouTube some of the most random things. If anybody ever looked at my YouTube history, I would probably think I was like psychotic or something. But I watch a lot of true crime. I like the Trace Evidence, John Lorden, Danielle Hallen. I've recently gotten into the Let's Read, where it's basically you're not watching anybody, it's just somebody like reading different stories. I listen to that a lot when I'm cleaning or doing things that don't require me to actually watch a video, but I can just hear it. So that's really good for that, I feel like. The next question is actually one of my favorite questions, and I have laughed about this and talked to several people about this question since it was given to me. But this is from my friend Ray, and he asked me, if you could have feet for hands or hands for feet, which one would you choose? And I definitely have to say I think I would choose to have hands for feet, because I can't do a whole lot with my feet. Sometimes walking is troublesome. Like, that even creates problems for me at times. So I feel like, it would be easier for me to teach myself how to walk on my hands than it would to teach myself how to do things with my feet. But B, most of the time you're wearing shoes, so everybody's not seeing your feet all the time, but everybody does see your hands. So I feel like it would be easier to cover up the fact that you had hands on your feet than it would be to cover up the fact that you have feet on your hands, if that makes sense. My next question is from Anonymous, and they asked, what is my best purchase and what is my worst purchase? So I actually have to show this to you guys. This is my makeup case. I take this thing, I am always going, for those of you that don't know, I am always somewhere, and I take this thing everywhere, and it just fits all my stuff in it perfectly. It has a spot for my brushes. It just really caters to everything that I need, and it puts it all in one convenient place. So it doesn't give me a lot of trouble with like putting things in a bag and not being able to find them. I actually got it on Amazon. I believe it was $20, and I will put a link to it below so that you guys can look at it or purchase one if you would like one or anything like that. My worst purchase, I would have to say, was some sequin leggings, and I wanted these for my birthday. I know a few of you probably were around me at the time that I was looking for these leggings, and I thought I finally found some. They were gold, and apparently I didn't read the description good enough on Amazon, and they were for a doll. Not a regular human person, but a doll. So that was probably my worst purchase. I did send them back, so I don't have them to show you guys. And then I did ultimately find sequin pants. They were just blue, not gold. And I think that was a couple of birthdays ago that I wore those. But outside of that, y'all know how Amazon can get. It can be kind of hit or miss sometimes. My next question is from Carrie, and she wants to know what is my favorite makeup and brushes, and have I found any really good drugstore dupes or anything like that. Well, I will start with my brushes. These are the brushes that I use. They're actually pretty cheap. I'll put it up closer so you guys can see it. They're dirty. I need to clean them, so you can just overlook that. But I like these because they're really lightweight. I don't believe in spending a ton of money on makeup brushes because I go through them so much. I think I got these from my sister for Christmas or my birthday a couple years ago, and I believe she got them from Amazon. I will try to find a link for them, and I'll link that down below. But I just feel like these are a really good quality of brush. They were pretty cheap. I think it was like 20 bucks for a set of them, and I have used them for a couple of years, and then I don't see them shedding. Like, they just do really well. So I have no complaints with that. As far as makeup goes, also, this is probably my favorite foundation. It is, I don't think you guys can probably see the label because of my lighting, but it is Too Faced Born This Way. I use vanilla, and that is my favorite, but I do have a dupe for it, and it is this. It's Melania, I think is how it's pronounced. I'm not for sure. The shading is a little bit different on this one. On the Too Faced, I use vanilla, and on this one, vanilla is super, super white. So I had to go to natural on this one. So the shading is a bit different, but the Too Faced is actually $40, and the Melania is like $10. So when I don't feel like spending $40 on foundation, I go for the $10 one. Other than that, there's lots of good dupes out there. I look on Pinterest a lot to get those, and then I kind of try them out. I don't know that I've done that recently, so I don't want to like name off anything because I don't feel like I've done enough in the past few months that it would even be like worth listening to me about. So, but that's a good dupe that I do know about. If I think of any others while I'm doing other things, then I'll probably comment down below, Carrie. So just be looking for that. My next question is, what was my worst date? I actually plan to do a video about this particular date at some point in the future, so I'm not going to get super, super detailed with it. I'm just going to kind of give you guys the basics. But basically, last summer, I went out with somebody and was semi-abducted. He didn't actually hurt me. He didn't touch me in any way or anything like that, but he did refuse to take me to my car and took me somewhere else. After me asking several times not to do that. He ultimately took me back to my car and all was fine, but I did have to kind of get ugly with him later to get him to stop texting and calling. But like I said, that's a video for a different time, and I will get to that one eventually, so I'm not going to go into the whole details of it. The next question I got is, will I ever do a video on Matt? For those of you that don't know, Matt was my boyfriend who passed away unexpectedly. They believe it was either a stroke or a seizure. They're not really for sure. It had nothing to do with drugs or anything like that. That's a question I get a lot just because of his age. He was 34. And to answer your question, yes, I do plan to do a video about that at some point, but right now it's still very personal. It's still fresh, so it's not something that I'm ready to do a whole video about at this point, but I do hope that one day I will. The next question is, who is the most inspirational person to me? And honestly, I don't think I could say just one person. I get inspiration from a lot of different things. I get inspiration from a lot of different people, and it just varies. There's so many people that I've gotten inspiration from, or that inspire me to do different things or to be a better person or anything like that, that I really don't think there's any way that I could just narrow that down to one person. So sorry if that's not quite the answer you were looking for, but that's the best I can do. The next question is also an anonymous one, and it is, do you believe in second chances? And to answer that, I absolutely do. I think timing has a lot to do with everything in life, and sometimes things just don't work out the right way, not because of one